Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessica. We are working on a little bit of a different setup today as well. Just trying to try out a few different things, see what works best for me. I have you all on the desk today because I have some things in front of me that I want to reference and I wanted them to be within easy reach. So we are ending the first week of October, not the first week. Time is meaningless anymore. We are coming to the end of the second week of October, also known as Preptober for those who participate. So I just wanted to give you all an update on my project, what I have been able to prep so far, and kind of maybe what's left. So let's just dive right into it. So if you watched last week's video, I am prepping to write the second book in my Penn Warren University series, which is a college new adult romance series. So the main character for book 2, her name is Sheena. I actually was able to get her whole inner journey worksheet finished. I was able to, using some of the prompts in Lisa Cron's Story Genius, I was able to kind of write through who she is before the novel starts. And figure out her, emotional wound, which is basically the thing or things that have happened in her past that has shaped her into who she is today, and that will ultimately be working against her in achieving her goals. So I worked through that. My series seems to be all about women overcoming toxic relationships with men. That's just how it is. So she's got this really horrible relationship in her past that is preventing her from having her best relationship in the present of the story time. And since it's a romance with a capital R, you know that she is obviously her and the love interest will obviously end up together. So the point of the story is basically, how do they do that when it seems like that's going to be impossible, and how does she overcome the things in her past that makes her really hesitant to start this new relationship. So I have that all worked out. I know who the love interest is. I know how they're going to meet. What else do I know? What else do I know? Not much. This one has kind of been a little bit of a struggle thinking of actual scenes and events that are going to happen, and it not just being just emotions and feelings and sexy times. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I would like there to be a little bit of plot involved, just a smidgy. I have a name bank started. So basically, I always know the names of my main characters, but every once in a while, someone can, pop up and, you need a name for, someone your character runs into or whatnot. And that's not something you want to spend a whole lot of time on when you're trying to fast draft. So what I do is collect a bunch of first names and last names that I like. And so when I need a name or it pops up in the story, I can just pull from that and have names for my characters. I think I had a big list like this, but it is in a notebook that I unfortunately put in storage and did not bring with me. So I have had to start that over. I have a very small scenes list. Don't read that too closely because I don't want to spoil it. But so these are scenes that I know are going to happen somewhere in the novel. I don't exactly know when, but I know they will. And then what else do I have? I have the before. Oh, and then so something interesting that's proving to be probably going to be a little bit of trouble is that so you actually meet Sheena in Sometimes Love Ain't Enough. So I have to make sure that the details are consistent between the two books, and so that I'm not veering way off course from something that I have already mentioned about her in book 1, and then we get to her book and then that detail changes. So I want to make sure that consistency is the same. So I have had to go back, and this is why I'm glad I'm still revising Sometimes Love Ain't Enough, because I have had to go back and change details already, either because I forgot it or I wanted to change it. It's no longer, that's not what I wanted to do anymore. So I'm glad I can still do that between books. What else do I have? I actually, I'm officially a NaNoWriMo because I did write the opening. It just kind of came to me, so I went ahead and wrote it down. So I do have the first couple of opening paragraphs. I know you're not technically supposed to start until November, but whatever. And then I also wrote down my tropes that I'm using in the book. And this is something different that I haven't done before. When I was writing Slay, I didn't pick any of the tropes, or didn't really think about any of the tropes when I was drafting. But I went ahead and jotted them down for What Kind of Fool, just so that I could have them in mind when I'm writing. So I'll go ahead and tell you what those are. So it is a small town, slow burn, enemies to lovers novel. So if that is your jam, I hope you like what we're getting ready to create. And that's going to be a little different for me because this probably doesn't count as a spoiler, but Sometimes Love Ain't Enough is not a slow burn. I guess you would call, I don't know if this is an official trope, but it is lust at first sight. And they definitely act on that pretty early in the book. So this is going to be a little different for me to do a slow burn. So we'll see how it goes. That's about all I have so far. I don't have my plotting worksheets filled out yet, except the opening scene / the hook. You'll see that in Save the Cat as the kind of normal regular space, like the setup, your character in their normal world. So I kind of know what that is going to be. But that is literally all I have with regards to my plotting worksheet. So we have a little bit to go to get that all kind of filled in. I haven't decided exactly what I want my goal to be for Nano. So if you do Nano, normally the goal is 50,000 words. I've only hit that once, and that was back in college, and I think I had most of that already written, so I think I kind of cheated. So I have not successfully written 50,000 words in, a month. Last year I think I got about 25, 26, so I got halfway there. But I think because I pushed so hard, I kind of burnt myself out, and I needed more time to refill the well on the story, and so that it ultimately took me longer to write that first draft than I think it would have if I hadn't pushed so hard in November. So I'm kind of thinking a couple of different things. I'm thinking either to maybe shoot for 30, because that would be about 5,000 more than I got last year. So it would be, gradually trying to increase towards that 50,000 goal. And then plan to finish the first draft I would like to finish it by the end of January, no matter what. So that's about 3 months. So I've also thought about splitting the 50,000 word count between those 3 months, which would only be about 16,000 words for the month of November, which seems very, very doable because this year I actually wrote like 13,000 words in the month of March trying to finish Slay. So I think that would be very doable without totally burning me out on the book and being able to ultimately finish it a couple months sooner than I finished Slay this time earlier this year. So those are kind of my thoughts. Let me know what you think, because I am also still trying to work on the second draft of Slay. It needs to be finished sooner rather than later. And I haven't put much work towards it this month yet. Because as you all know, I'm still trying to balance the Girls of Fall, and the second draft of Slay, and prepping for What Kind of Fool. So I am just very busy with projects. And I don't know the best way to balance them. So if you have any ideas for me, definitely put them in the comments, because we're very much in trial by fire mode right now, and seeing what works and what doesn't work for me. So if you do have any advice or any tips on how to balance, your writing and publishing schedule, definitely leave them for me. I would love some ideas to try. Also, my editor, so this is an update. Now we're talking about Girls of Fall. So the update on Girls of Fall. So my editor loved the changes that I made. Loved the revisions. So we're doing the line edits and the proofreading right now. So I should have that back this weekend, I think. So then I kind of have to switch gears again and go back to the Girls of Fall, at least probably one more time before we start the formatting and publishing process for that. So I think that's probably going to take away some of my writing and prepping time from my Pen Warren series. So I'm kind of leaning towards trying to do a lower word count in November, just so that I can keep working on both projects. Because I do need Slay to be ready to go to my editor in December. Sorry, that got kind of rambly. So that's about it. I did have a craft book, another one, that I wanted to recommend. This one is called On Writing Romance by Lee Michaels. That's the cover. Boop. I actually bought this one at Half Price Books a while ago. I just haven't got around to reading it. It's a little bit old, because it's published in 2007, so that was quite a long time ago. And I haven't read it cover to cover, but I actually did read one of the chapters, Chapter 5, Conflict, because that's something I'm struggling with What Kind of Fool. It's a conflict between, because they can't get together right away, because then there's no book. So it was, so I've just been going through and reading through chapters that I think are applicable to what I'm working on right now. And I have found it did lead to some epiphanies in my brainstorming this week. So if you are interested in picking up another craft book, I would recommend this one just based on a couple of chapters I've read. And it has questions. It kind of has like study questions, so she does recommend you kind of pick a romance novel to read and kind of study while you're working on the book. So it does have kind of in review study questions, and then it has questions for you to answer for your own work, which is part of why I like craft books. I like craft books that have homework, so that you can put the what you're learning to use. So if you are looking for something to read, some crafts specifically for romance, because a lot of the other craft books I've been reading are not specific to romance. But if you're interested, I would recommend this, based on, what I've read so far. All right, so that is about it. Announcement time. I am getting together with a few other author tubers to do a Preptober Nano live stream next weekend, October 23rd at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. It will be my very first live stream, so wish me luck and hope it goes well. But I do hope you all kind of pop over and join that live. But I also, if you can't do that, I also think we will have, the replay that I can post on my channel if you miss it. So let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your October is doing. If you're doing Nano, let me know that as well. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.